Hey, and welcome back to Section 4 of the Americans. We are excited about it today. This will finish up Chapter 3, Section 4. Today's lecture is a mini topic on the French and Indian War. I have another complete video on the French and Indian War we'll have in class, but as of right now, this is just the basic notes that go along with it. And that's one of the confusing misnomers of history. People think it was the French fighting the Indians or the British fighting the Indians. In reality, it was the French, British, and their Indian allies fighting one another. The French and Indian War. In the 1750s, Britain and France built empires, and both wanted the Ohio River Valley. France's Northern American Empire claimed the St. Lawrence River region in what is today Canada, the Mississippi Valley, and others close to Louisiana. By 1754, the French colony of New France had a very small population, unlike the English colonies, which had a very large population. French colonists were mostly fur traders, missionary priests, and they got along very well with most Native Americans. But the French and the British did not get along well in Europe or anywhere else. They fought two highly inconclusive wars in the early 1700s. The French built Fort Duquesne in the Ohio Valley in land that was claimed by Virginia. In 1754, a young Virginian by the name of George Washington, you may have heard of him, he was sent to kick out the French. At this time, Washington was fighting on the side of the British. He was a British subject, of course. Washington is defeated, and this starts the French and Indian War. So the first major transcontinental conflict in history was started by George Washington. The French and Indian War began, which was the fourth major war between Great Britain and France. General Edward Braddock was the British commander. He decided he was going to take Fort Duquesne from the French, but instead, the Native Americans and the French actually ambushed him and killed most of his troops. The British lost repeated battles early to the French and their native allies. However, William Pitt became Prime Minister of England. He helped the British win battles. They convinced the Iroquois League to join the British. This was a major turning point. In 1759, the British captured Quebec, and it led to a basic victory in the war. However, the war didn't officially end until 1763 with the signing of the Treaty of Paris. There's a lot of treaties called the Treaty of Paris, so it's important to distinguish this one as the Treaty of Paris, 1763. The land that was French land in North America was divided between the British and the Spanish, with the French only retaining a couple of small islands in the St. Lawrence River. But victory, of course, brought new problems. An Ottawa Indian whose name was Pontiac, the chief, he feared that by losing the French support, they would lose land to the British, and he captured many British forts. This is known as the Pontiac Rebellion. The British used smallpox as a weapon. They actually had smallpox-infested blankets and things of that nature, and it killed many Native Americans. This was one of the first uses of biological warfare in the New World. But to keep the Indians from getting all tore up, the British passed the Proclamation Line of 1763, which said that English colonies could not settle beyond the Appalachian Mountains. This, of course, angered many white Americans who had fought for the British, and they thought this land was their natural due. People like Daniel Boone led expeditions west of the mountains. This caused the British and the colonies begin to grow apart. This halt to Western expansion upsets colonists. Tensions in Massachusetts increased over the crackdown in smuggling, and the British issued what were known as writs of assistance, which allowed the searches of ships, businesses, and homes. All of this is a part of the repeal of what had been known as, not repeal, but the discontinuing of salutary neglect. Colonists felt threatened by the British troops stationed in the colonies, and George Grenville felt that the colonists should pay for this last war, so it was basically started by them. They passed the Sugar Act, which increased the duty or tax on foreign molasses. Actually, it decreased the tax on molasses that was brought in from Jamaica and Bermuda, which made sugar less viable for the colonies. And new taxes were placed on other imports. Smuggling cases were then moved to the Vice Admiralty courts. That's the end of section 4, chapter 3. I hope this helps you a little bit just by putting some basic, trying to think of the right word, put it, I guess closure would be the best word to it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at randyvice@gmail.com, or if it's related to school or if you're a current student of mine, please email me at randy_vice@ecboe.org. Thank you.